Welcome back to Chasing My Potential, where we decode everything the top players do, from their movement and positioning to their dribbling and decision making, giving you more clarity on what's missing from your game. Today we're going for Ronaldo's individual clips versus Spain in the 2018 World Cup. And if you want to know why we're going through this specific game, here's why. Ronaldo scored a hat-trick in this 3-3 tie against Spain, absolutely carrying Portugal in a game where Spain were playing the usual tiki-taka style of play, leaving Portugal with 39% possession. In this analysis, I'm going to show all his clips. Only watching players' best highlights can really distort your own expectations going into a game, feeling more pressure to do something amazing every time you get the ball. And as you'll see here, Ronaldo keeps it super simple a lot of the time. In this game, he played as a striker, oftentimes dropping into the left wing position too. But first, a quick announcement. I'm in the process of making a free football IQ and decision-making course. Stay tuned until the end of the video to see how to access it. Let's get into it and see what you can learn. In the first minute of the game, the ball falls to Bernardo Silva and we can see Ronaldo making a blindside run, which the defender backs off to cover. Ronaldo now stays onside and receives the ball to feet. He shows off his lightning skills and then lays off the ball. But let's look at his decision to lay the ball off. Pause there, we can see Spain massively outweigh Portugal numerically. So it's an intelligent decision to play the ball back to switch the play. The fullback doesn't have any options, so he plays the ball back to the defensive midfielder. Now the attacking midfielder makes this run. And we can see Ronaldo making the opposite movement, dropping into this space as he realises both defenders are now occupied by this run. Now, as the ball comes back, the defensive midfielder had almost dropped into a third centre-back role. And Ronaldo comes and fills a centre defensive mid role. At the moment, nobody is pressing the centre defensive mid until Ronaldo lays the ball back and spins back up the pitch. Paused here, we can see Spain have 6 players forward, which means there will be plenty of space in front of the back 4. And as we can see, Ronaldo has picked up a position in all of that space, which leads to this. He controls the ball and touches it away from pressure whilst cutting across Silva, leaving him out of the race. Ronaldo now throws a step over, causing the defender to plant the feet and gives away a penalty. And we all know what comes after that. The ball comes back to the attacking midfielder who finds himself in a striker position and Ronaldo supports instead of running in behind. And look at this for composure. First touch, great control. Second touch, away from pressure whilst protecting the ball. And third touch, a sharp disguised chop through the gap on the bounce. Look at the height he reaches here. In this game, his aerial presence helped Portugal skip playing out from the back and just launch it forward to Ronaldo most times. Literally a minute later, and he manages to find players with most of his flick-ons too. Spots his fullback making an overlapping run and keeps it simple. You'll often hear sometimes staying still is the best movement option. Here is an example of this. The defence is retreating, inevitably leaving space here, so there's no need for Ronaldo to move. You can either move yourself or stand still and let the opposition move around you. And there's one other player that you'll see do this a lot, Messi. Ronaldo drives forward and decides to cut back. As we see this little passing phase from Portugal happen, Spain are moving over, creating less and less space. Once Ronaldo receives the ball, he knows it's time to switch the ball again. Quick side note, it's important to notice that Ronaldo only waits till the right time to be super direct on the ball. Doesn't force anything that isn't on, and he's very patient. Ronaldo's hold-up play in this game was fire. Chests the ball whilst backing off, waiting to feel where the defender is. And then finds this great link-up. But notice how swift and tidy this was. Touches with his chest, as the ball falls down, controls on the bounce, and his next touch is a pass straight away. Any slower and the midfielder would have got the ball. A simple bounce pass back, but again showing his awareness and patience. A 4 versus 1, the risk is too high. Look at this for a pass. As the ball is coming out, his awareness to check his shoulder and look for an advanced teammates. As he lays off, he immediately spins and is looking for this pass, which Ramos is anticipating. Ronaldo couldn't go wrong this day. Even by accident, he perfectly found his teammates. From a Spain corner, another counter-attack moments later. Ronaldo being the first one to fully sprint, showing his desire to score. Bruno Fernandes finds him with this perfect pass. Ronaldo noticing the defender's momentum and plays the ball first time to his teammate, who doesn't check his shoulder and gets tackled on his blind side. And people say Ronaldo is greedy and selfish. He's literally sprinted the whole pitch and then passes in a position where he could try a 1v1. When I say his link-up was on point, I mean on point. Check this. Most managers would go ballistic on the sideline when the striker flicks the ball like this. And this technique isn't easy. Had to put this in here. We all hate being in the wall, but it really doesn't seem to bother him. Keeps his eye on the ball and heads it away. Here I wasn't sure why he came deep and left this space with no striker. The only reason I can think is that Portugal had such little possession at the time that he wanted to keep the ball with no risk, allowing Portugal to push up the field. Again, Ronaldo playing it super simple, keeping possession. On the counter-attack, and we could see his awareness here, assessing his options before he controls the ball. Building this habit into your game will make all the difference. Choosing the right option but overhits the pass. The ball is played long and Ronaldo starts offside, which makes it very hard for the defenders to know where you are. As the defender backs off, he faces the goal up instead of having his back to play and gets his second goal. Like all top strikers, making a run into the space when the defence has a high line, protects the ball while using his arm and stays composed to simply lay off the ball. Comes for the throw-in, wins one header, and then the next one too. Again, his aerial presence in this game helped Portugal so much. The ball unexpectedly falls to him and he keeps the ball moving, sliding Fernandes in. He always keeps the ball moving fast. He rarely takes too many touches, especially as his game has matured. Dropping deep, knowing exactly where his next pass is. So simple but important to break down for you strikers with your hold-up play when the defender's pressing you from behind. Control, touches away from pressure and lays off. Notice how he doesn't pin the defender in this position as it's too risky if Ramos were to toe poke the ball away in the middle of the pitch. Mixing his game up, dropping between the lines. Threatening him behind again, and again showing his desire to manage to touch the ball in this situation. What a touch. Traps it with the inside of his foot. Again knocks away from pressure and gets a free kick as Piqué lunges in, which leads to this legendary moment. 87th minute, 3-2 down. He steps up and secures the hat-trick. De Gea hardly even moved. Constantly moving the ball away from pressure, always knowing where the defender is. And his final touch of the game, with a minute to go, so close with this header, standing in between both defenders, controlling the space where the ball will land, with his arm in the defender's back, not allowing him to back off. Such a tidy and efficient game from Ronaldo. It's interesting to see how much his game has adapted, how simple he keeps it now, and how fast he moves the ball. And I hope you see the value in watching every single clip, even if some of them are super simple. It gives you the whole picture of his performance and allows you to set your own expectations right for your own performance, not trying to do something magical every time you get the ball. Let me know what you thought of his performance and what you took from these clips. And with the highly requested Football IQ and decision-making course, to get the notification reminder when it's out and the link to access it, I've put a link in the description below. All you'll need to do is add your email. I won't send anything other than the reminder for the course and the access link when it's out. And don't miss out on this. It's been so highly requested by so many players. The amount of messages I get from players asking me about decision-making, Football IQ, there is not much information out there at all. I'm working super hard on it to give you tons of value. See you next time and make sure to keep chasing your potential.